Welcome back, Tolkien fans, and I am here today with another MESBG video. So this is going to be one of my new series, so to speak, that I'm going to work on doing, and it's going to be an army review series. So most times, folks kind of like break down armies. So what I actually am going to do for this is I'm going to build test lists, kind of how I would take to events or for practice games, just to kind of see um, how they would work or if I would like the play style or whatnot. So doing this, I'll break down my strategy, thoughts with them, and you'll get to be able to take a look at how I would build it. So my first one up, like I said, I'm going to do 600, 700, 800 points. So this first one's going to be a 600 point list, and I'm going to be doing Minas Tirith. Minas Tirith is definitely everybody's favorite army, I think. It's not everybody's favorite. It's a very common army, put it that way. Misspoke with favorite, because some people don't like them. But this is definitely a common army that you will see, and you'll see it in different iterations. So I didn't put any restrictions on myself when I was building these. I just simply took a list that I would like, and there are definitely ways to tweak these. So this is my first one, 600 points, as you can see here, and I built it with 4 warbands. I'm at 600 exactly. I definitely tried to maximize the amount of points I could get in the lists, and the build will reflect that when you're looking at what my unit layout is. So my 3 heroes are Faramir, Captain of Gondor, Hurin the Tall, Warden of the Keys, Ingold, Warden of the Ramus Ekar, and Moblong, Ranger of Ithilien. And I don't have my book in front of me, so I can't remember which one it is, but I want the new Ranger. Loadout and Aimbor are from the new Quest of the Ring Bearer supplement. And if you're new to the game, you're probably sitting here going, "What the heck are you talking about?" But that's cool. Just kind of follow along with me. Work with me here. Just look at what I'm talking about. Listen to what I'm talking about. You'll learn some stuff. If you're a seasoned veteran, you're sitting here going, "Shut up and just get to the point," and I can understand, respect that. But for new folks to the game, I think this is probably a good idea to listen to what I'm talking about. And don't worry, guys. I'll get to videos explaining how the game plays and how it works. So my 4 heroes, like I just talked about. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Moblong Aimbor, I want the one that gets a free point of might every turn for shooting when it comes to hit, in the way, and to wound rolls. So whichever one that is, I can't remember. I think it's Moblong. If it's not, just swap Moblong for Aimbor in this situation for me. And we'll go from there because they're the same amount of points, so it's not really going to reflect negatively on this review. So Faramir, I went ahead and fully kitted him out. For those that don't know what that means I basically gave him everything he could take to make him the best possible fighter there is. Faramir is one of those models that's very versatile. His base cost is extremely cheap, as you can see here. And then he's got a lot of upgrades. You can give him an armored horse, a regular horse. You can give him a lance. You can give him heavy armor. You can give him a shield. You can give him a bow. So some people like to take him on foot, give him a bow. Then usually give him, I don't. It depends. If you give him a bow, you can give him a shield, but you can't benefit from the shield for new folks. That's just the way the game works. So you can use the shield for something called shielding, which is in combat you would double your attack rolls, and that would allow you to roll more dice to possibly win, but then you cannot strike wounds. It just gives you a better chance of surviving until reinforcements come. It's very handy to use. So if you were to give him a bow, you could give him a shield. He would not get a defense increase, which is what a shield gives you, but he would be able to use the shielding technique. So most people, if they're doing that, they're giving him heavy armor and a bow. They're not giving him the shield. They'll take him at defense 6 with the bow, and then he'll just be a shooting ranger, and then kind of maximize their shooting, which is what I've seen a lot of folks do at 600 points. I prefer more heavier army, higher defense, harder hitting. So this is a good list, I think. 35 models, maybe a little low, but I just did a 600 point event. Go check out that video I reviewed for the Sandhills of Ruin in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And 35 is probably right smack in the middle of what most folks had. I had 40 for the army I took. I went up against one army that had 44. Then the next army I played had 32. And then the next army I had after that had 40 as well. So 35 is pretty well smack dab in the middle of that range, as you can see. I had someone way down at 32, someone all the way up at 45. That balances out closer to 38 mark, so 35 is nothing to laugh at. And when we look at what I have, We'll see. But I have upgraded Faramir with an armored horse, a lance, a heavy armored shield. So armored horse is important. It's a defense 5 horse. So against shooting, strength 2 shooting attacks are going to be wounding the horse on a 6. Um, and then the lance will give him the +1 to wound. Heavy armor and shield will up his defense to 7. So strength 2 shooting attacks are going to be wounding him on 6s by 4s. And that just means strength 3, strength 4 guys are also wounding him on straight 6s. He would be the leader in this list. I could make Huron the leader, but obviously I'm going to do Faramir because his Might Will Fate is 3/3/2, 3 Might, 3 Will, 2 Fate. New players, don't worry, we'll get to this. But having that extra point of fate, if he takes a wound, since he's my leader, is going to make it more likely for him to survive. Then I have Huron the Tall, Warden of the Keys. Put him on a horse. I think you should always mount your heroes whenever you can. Just gives you more movement. Being on a horse, 10-inch movement over 6 inches on foot is, that's big, that's huge. And then I also have, you have the ability for knockdown power. If you charge into an infantry model with a horse and win the combat, that model is knocked down, knocked prone, and then he's considered trapped, which means you double all your strikes. So someone like Huron, for example, not only that, you also get an additional attack. So whenever a cavalry model, which is what Huron and Faramir would be on horses, be they armored or regular, a regular horse is defense 4 and armored is defense 5, so it makes it better against ranged attacks. Have an armored horse. You pay for it. They're 5 points more expensive, but that's okay. Because again, you want to be able to not get taken out by strength 2 bows. If you can, strength 2 bows are the most common bow. So being able to have that ability to maybe mitigate some shooting attacks coming your way is huge. But yeah, if you're a cavalry model charging against infantry, you get additional attack. So Huron and Faramir both have 2 attacks base. That would give them 3 on a charge. And then if they knock down, you double that again, so that gives them 6. So, I mean, you've just tripled your hitting the killing ability. That's huge. Then I have Ingold, Warden of the Ramus Ecker. He's really good because he has Shield Wall. And he's also, I think, defense 7 base. So he's ridiculously high in defense. And then he doesn't back away. So in combat, if you lose, you back away. With Ingold, you're not going to be backing away. And the guys around him, I believe it's a 3-inch bubble, don't back away either. So you've got a nice 6-inch diameter where you can just keep guys from backing away. Really hold that shield wall. And that's huge because shield wall +1 to your defense if you're in base contact with 2 other shield wall models. So if you back away and you're not in shield wall, you lose that defense bonus. So then you're taking strikes at whatever your defense is. So being able to not back away, even if you lose, keeps the shield wall, keeps your defense up. And then I have Moblong, Ranger of Ithilien with 3 Rangers of Gondor. Like I said, whichever one it is, Moblong or Aimbor, I can't remember right now. Whichever one gives you the +1 to hit, to wound, or sorry, the free point of might every turn for rolling to hit, to wound, and in the ways. That's the one I want to take because that's just another tool in your belt, having a free point of might when you're shooting every turn. Now you are good can't shoot into combat, but that's where I went with this. So looking at my loadout, I'll move to the right here. Warbands 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll start with a small one. Aimbor, I just gave him 3 Rangers of Gondor. My whole thought process with that is to just go ahead and have him drop somewhere, maybe hold a corner for an objective, or come in and just pepper my enemy with 4 bow shots a turn. One of them having a point of might because Moblong has a single point of might, and then he gets his free one every turn, like I said. Actually, I think it's Aimbor who has the free one, but I don't remember specifically, so we're just going to leave him Moblong for now. Moving back, so first warband is Faramir. He's got 3 Warriors of Minas Tirith, upgraded with Shield, 3 with Shield and Spear, 2 Knights of Minas Tirith with Shield, and then 2 Citadel Guard, and I swapped their spears for longbows. Now those are my these 4 guys here are my fight 4, and people are probably going, what are you doing? You need to have that fight 4 spear support. Yes and no. They come with bodyguard, and my thought process with this is bodyguard, they can stay away from the leader. That way, if I were to get broken, as long as Faramir is alive, they instantly pass all courage checks, because once you're broken, you have to take a courage check, and if you fail it, the model flees. Broken is if you're below 50%, so this is a 35 unit army, so you divide that by 2 and round up, so that'd be 17.5, so I'd have to be below that. So basically, you'd have to kill 18 models in order to break me, which is kind of hard to do because these are high defense models. These guys with shields are going to be defense 6. then in spear wall, because warriors in Minas Tirith, shield wall. 3 of them at base contact plus 1 to defense. You're gonna make them defense 7. So pretty good. And you go ahead and drop Ingold over here in the middle of it, and they're not going to back away, so they will maintain that shield wall, which means they will maintain that defense 7. And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier with strength 3 bow or strength 2 bows shooting at them, like with Faramir. That means that they are going to be wounded on 6s by 4s. And then I've got 6 knights, so I've got 8 mounted guys total. I figure that's a good amount of mobility. And the knights are lower defense, or not lower defense, they're lower fight value. It's basically a fight 3 army all over, except for the Rangers of Gondor and the Citadel Guard. But that's okay, because my thought process is hit hard with the Knights of Minas Tirith in 1 turn against my opponent's infantry. So they're going to be 1 attack base. They charge against infantry. They're going to have 2 knock down their 4, so you're quadrupling your attacks there, which is huge. And that'll just give me the ability to get in there on 1 turn, hopefully deal a lot of damage. And Knights of Minas Tirith come with lances, so you're getting +1 to wound. So they're strength 3 against a defense 6 army. If I were to fight one, they'd be wounding on 6s, but with the +1 to wound, they're wounding on 5s. So if you're fighting a defense 5 army, which is actually more common than defense 6s, there's more defense 5 armies out there, I believe, than there are defense 6s, or better. It's actually pretty well split, like defense 6 and above, defense 6 and defense 5 and below. They're pretty well split, but we'll talk about that later in the future. But against like a defense 5 army, strength 3 on defense 5s, wounding on 5s, and then with the +1 to wound with the lance is 4s. So if you're going in, you're charging, you're throwing 2 dice, you're winning, you're knocking them down, you're throwing 4 dice, needing 4s, you got a really good chance of killing something. So that's really big, having that lance. So my thought is get in there and do a really devastating 1 turn with Huron, because he gets a bonus to wound. Faramir, he gets a bonus to wound. My Knights of Minas Tirith, they get a bonus to wound. Just get in there and knock stuff down. Hopefully get some good kills with my 8 mounted guys. And then the next turn kind of roll in with this shield and spear wall and just, stack it up. Just pin my enemy down. And then I've got these 4 guys who are auto passing courage test if broken, as long as Faramir is alive, holding objectives in those scenarios. So that's 600 points. Pretty good looking for us. So we'll switch over to 700 now. So 700, slight change. I went from 3 heroes to 4. The big thing is I kept Faramir, kept Huron. They've got their same loadout, but I added Boromir, Captain of the White Tower. So Boromir is expensive, as you can see here. But giving him a horse, lance, and a shield, he's going to be defense 7 with +1 to wound with the lance, and Boromir has 6 points of might. So for those who've never used Boromir or you're new to the game watching this, 6 points of might is huge. So you're talking about this list here has 12 points of might. That is a lot of might to use, a lot of might to bring to bear. So yeah. Then looking at my loadout, again, Warband 1, 2, 3. So Boromir's got 1 warrior with a shield, 5 warriors with shield and spear, 2 knights with shield, 2 citadel guard, with bows, and then 1 guard of the Fountain Court. And then Faramir is similar to that. The only difference is he's got one more warrior with a shield and 1 less warrior shield and spear, so 2 and 4. And then last but not least, Huron, again very similar, 2 warriors with shield, 4 with shield and spear, 1 knight with a shield, and then 2 citadel guards with bows, and 1 Fountain Court upgraded with a shield. So again, something I didn't mention is giving these guys the bows is also big, because not only can they sit on the objectives, but they're going to be able to shoot shots at my opponent trying to come at me, and they're strength 3. So strength 3's got a better chance of wounding. Again, those defense 5 or lower armies, defense 5, defense 4, you're wounding them on 5s when you're shooting, which is huge. So if your opponent's trying to bring something at you and it's a defense 5, you're going to have a better chance of wounding it. Defense 6, he's still wounding on 3s. Defense 6, he's still wounding on 6s. Defense 7, he's still wounding on 6s. Blech. Which is also big because, like I said, if you've got a defense 7 model, a regular strength 2 bow, like with those Rangers I had, the 600 point list, if you flip back, these guys, Rangers of Gondor, their strength 2 bows wound defense 7 on 6s by 4s. So these guys having Strength 3 is huge. And then Guard of the Valiant Core, I threw a couple of these guys in because they also have Bodyguard. So in this list, Boromir is going to be my leader because he's got 3 wounds and 3 might, or 3 fate. So he can take 3 wounds, and fate basically is a 50-50 chance to prevent a wound. So if my hero takes a wound, throw a dice, and a 4-up, it's negated. That's pretty good. So you got a better chance of Boromir not only to not take it because he's defense 7, he's also got 3 attacks base, which is 1 better than Faramir. So mounted on the charge, he's going to have 4. And then if you win, knock down infantry, it's 8. So he's got a lot of hitting ability. And then with the lance, again, +1 to wound. So he's going to be wounding most things on 4s. Defense 7 or above. Defense 7, he's winning on 5s. Defense 8, he's winning on 5s. I think defense 9, he's winning on 5s. No, am I doing that right? Strength 9. No, he's defense 9, he'd be winning on 5s by 3s. Yeah, it's weird. Because if it's 5 difference, yeah, strength 4, defense 9. Normally it's 6s by 4s, but +1 to both makes it 5s followed by 3s or better. So yeah, he's got good hitting ability, and then 6 points of might, so that you can use might to buff your rolls when it comes to duel or to wound. So you roll your 4 dice. Say I charge in, I roll my 4 dice. I roll a 5 high. My opponent rolls a 6. It's like, oh well, that stinks. Oh, I got a point of might. I'll just make it a 6, and then he's usually got the better fight value. So you'll win based off of fight value, which is what you use to determine who wins in tied duel rolls. But we'll cover that in other videos for the new folks. Just kind of enjoy listening to this now. I promise you it'll be better. And then going from there, he's got the ability to use his might. If you lose priority to move first, you can use that might when you get in combat to call heroic movement, which gives you a possibility of moving first. So that's why might's important. So having 12, 6 with Boromir, 3 with Faramir, 3 with Huron is huge. I know some folks are probably sitting here going, okay, why 1 warrior? Why not split it 3 and 3? Well, I want to maximize my points. So you can see I'm at 700 right now. So I've maximized my points. So if I do this a typical, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, which is what happens a lot of times. People just do that and don't think about it. Look, I got 4 points. Maximize your points. So we'll just, switch this up. Why not give these guys why not give more guys with spears? Then they can support all over the place. So if, for example, one of your heroes does get taken off their horse, then you can throw them into combat and use one of these spear supports to support them. I mean, you can still fight base-to-base contact with a spear. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it because they do come with swords. So if you wanted to, you could draw your sword and fight, or you can just fight with your spear. There's no detractor of fighting with a spear. The spear just gives you the ability to support each other. So more supporting ability in fights. There's nothing wrong with that. Iron Hills is huge for that. Most players take all Iron Hills with spears just so they can support all over the place. It doesn't matter who's fighting who. So yeah, same amount of cav, 5 base troops, and then 3 heroes mounted. But this time I've got a big hitter. Boromir's a huge hitter in combat. So you can see my model count drop by 2, but the upgrade I took is before with the 600 point list. This is 3, 6, 9, 10 base might. Now I've got 12 base might, and in the 600 point list, 2 attack, 2 attack, 2 attack, 1 attack. So now I'm upgrading to a 3 attack, 2 attack, 2 attack heroes, which is huge. And again, they're all mounted, so if they all charge in, then you get that +1 to their attacks, and then knockdown ability, and +1 to wound when they charge, because Huron has a special sword that allows them to do +1 to wound, and then Faramir and Boromir have lances. So that's 700 points. And then last but not least, 800 points. And again, I went up by 2 models. The only thing I did here is I dropped the lance and took the banner of Minas Tirith. And that's huge because the banner of Minas Tirith, so normally banners are 3-inch range, and what a banner allows you to do is re-roll a dice in combat. So instead of using, might, like I was talking about earlier with Boromir to win the combat, you can go ahead and do a banner, and potentially the banner will let you roll higher and win. You can only use it on 1 dice, 1 model in the fight. but having that banner with him is huge. Now, normally, if you put a banner in the hand of a troop, be it mounted or on foot, they take a -1 to their dual roll. So if you roll a 6, it becomes a 5. 5 becomes a 4, so on and so forth. That can really hurt. But with Boromir, since he's a hero, he doesn't take that -1 to his dual roll. The biggest loss he has is the fact that he doesn't get to use his lance. However, what you're trading in is a 6-inch banner range over a 3. So you got a 12-inch diameter. And then every Minas Tirith warrior within 6 inches gets +1 to their fight value, including Boromir. So Boromir is now fight 7. That's great. You're talking about the same fight value as elves. I mean, Glorfindel has fight 7. That's huge. I think Elrond is fight 7. So you're talking about guys that, Boromir being captain of the White Tower with fight 7, he's going up against elves, and elves are usually the models with the best fight value in the game. So I'm willing to give up that little bit of hitting a power, because losing your lance means now you're just doing your base 4 attack base 4 strength against whatever your opponent's defense is. So that weakens his hitting a power. He really only wants to go against defense 6 at the best. But making all these guys fight 4, the meta, meaning what's commonplace in the game, is a fight 4 army. So now, before I was saying that warriors and the knights only fight 3. So if you go against a fight 4 model and they roll a 6, they're automatically going to win. Because even if you roll a 6, the draw to determine the tiebreaker to determine who wins that is fight value. Well, now you've got the better fight value. So that's huge. Well, you've got fight 4 fight value. So now you're tying it off. Now it goes to a roll off. That's the next tiebreaker. And that's just 50-50 who takes it, good or evil. So you're making all your base troops here fights 4. So you're making the meta. And then these Citadel Guard are actually fight 4 base. So they become fight 5. So now against a fight 4 meta, they're winning 6s straight up. Again, I've got 4 heroes. Excuse me. My bump was not only to take the banner, which is an expensive bump. You can see it. So banner here, if I take that off, you see his base point with the banner. Take that off. Yeah, that's a pretty big drop right there. And then obviously, if I'm going to take the lance, so you see it's like what, 35-point swing there. So switch that. But I think that's really good, especially 800 points. I don't see why you wouldn't take it. And then the other thing I added is I actually added Ingold back in. So now I'm going to have a very long shield and spear wall here. And then I'm going to have Ingold holding the middle of it, keeping my guys from backing away. I'm going to have the same amount of mounted guys, 8. And then I've got several Citadel Guards. So I dropped the Fountain Court, unfortunately, going from 700 to 800. But that's okay, because I picked up an extra Citadel Guard. So now I've got 6 guys that can go hold objectives, and they are bodyguarded to Boromir. So again, that means if you're broken, they're not going to flee. That's one of the issues, is if you're broken, the model holding an objective in objective-based games takes a courage chest and flees. Well, you've just lost the objective. You've lost the victory points needed to get that objective, or you lost the victory points associated in holding that objective. Which could basically lose you a game. And it has done that to me before. So it's just little tricks you learn with Bodyguard. And we'll go over special rules and all this stuff in future videos. So again, new folks listening onto this today going, what the hell are you talking about? We'll get to it, I promise. Veterans, you can kind of see my thought process. So I've got a nice strong spear and shield wall. It's going to be the typical hammer and anvil. That's how I that's how I built these 600, 700, 8-point lists. They're basically a hammer and anvil. So you got your mounted models and heroes, and then here comes your anvil, which is going to be your warrior block of shield and spear guys with Ingolds. They're not backing away, and you're just going to pinch them between your mounted guys. Your mounted guys and your foot troops, and then again a few guys holding the line. So nothing wrong with that. It's a very basic tactic that people build their list around, and there's nothing wrong with it. So, as you can see, if you've been looking, Aragorn is in Minas Tirith, Gandalf is in Minas Tirith, um, Denethor, Baragon, Madril, Damrod, Kirian, Huron and Ingold, and Irolas. So pretty good choice of heroes that you can get. So this is not really hoarded out. 37 miles, 800 points is pretty good. Somewhere around 37 to 40 is normal. And then again, I got a lot of might in this list. So you're talking 6, 9, 12, 15. 3 with Ingold, 3 with Huron, 3 with Faramir, 6 with Boromir. You got a lot of might in this list. You gotta have resources for days to do whatever you need. Call heroic movements to get your army moving first when you've gotten into combat or positioning for combat. Heroic striking to make sure your fight value is higher with your heroes when you're in fights. That way you can win on the 6 automatically. All kinds of good stuff going on there. Points to use just to win the fight if you roll a 5. So very important, very good stuff. That's basically how I was looking at these 600, 700, 8-point lists. I'll maybe do another 1 or 2 of these in the future, coming back to this, because you can build Gondor in a basic way. This is a typical, just medium, like I said, medium range. You can go super elite, drop all these fight 3 guys, and pile on with like Guard of the Fountain Court, which are fight 4, defense 7 with a shield. So, strength 2 bows are wounding everybody on 6s by 4s. But that's kind of what your shield and spear wall is going to get with the shield wall ability from the Warriors Minas Tirith. So I don't really see the only thing you're giving up is the fight 4. And at 800 points, again, you can mitigate that by taking here the banner of Minas Tirith, which is a 6-inch banner. So the ability to get rerolls within a 12-inch diameter. And +1 to your fight value, not only to Boromir himself, making him fight 7, but also to your shield and spear wall, and also your Knights of Minas Tirith. And your Citadel Guard. They become fight 5 as well, kind of like the Guard of the Fountain Court I was talking about in the 700-point list. So, actually, I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah. Fight 4, we go to fight 5, which is huge. So that's Minas Tirith review, 600, 700, 800-point armies. Hope you guys liked them. Give me some comments, what you like to build, how you like to build it. Are you more of a horde type? Because you can take these cheaper heroes. You can take Denethor, and you can have Faramir in your list with Denethor, and Faramir could be the big bad hero. He's kind of he's a upper medium tier hero, not bad. You could take do you like Gandalf? Do you like doing magic with Gandalf? Gandalf's expensive though. I mean, again, I think you should mount your hero if you can, and you can mount Gandalf. You can take him on Battlefax. But, yeah, look how expensive he is. So, and then you've got Elisar, Aragorn, King Elisar. And he said, this went to red. There are stipulations in the game. Don't worry about over here. It's just saying that because, if I put him in Warband, 4, okay, that takes care of that. But I just hit 1 so you can see how much he is. But yeah, on an armored horse, he's very expensive. Great killer with Anduril. He has Anduril, so he's going to be winning on anything on 4-ups, which is great, but still very expensive. So it all depends on how you want to play. If you guys are wondering where this spreadsheet came from, no, I didn't build this. It comes from Lonely Knight Army Builder. Just Google Lonely Knight Army Builder, and it'll be the first thing that comes up, and you can see you've got everything here. You've got all the different breakdowns. So you can make an army out of the Fellowship and the models that are in it. Wildman and Druidane. Rohan, that's a lot of people's favorite. So you've got your tiers, Legend, Valor, Minor, all here on the left. So if you click into them, Legends can lead 18 troops. Look at that, O of 18. So if I go over here and put 20, oh hey, you're leading too many troops. If I go over here and put 18, look at that. Oh, I hit 15, my bad. 18, look at that, 18 out of 18. So pretty cool. I like using this. It's really handy, really dandy. I know that sounds stupid, but you get my point. Lonely Knight Army Builder, very good. As you see, this is version 1.59. So he's had a number of them since the game was rebranded as MESBG in 2018. So Hey guys, thanks for following along. Thanks for watching. Any comments, please let me know. What army would you like to see me build a list for? Leave a comment below, and I'll build a 600, 700, and 800 point list, and we'll talk about it. Till then, take it easy, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy ordering